Shalom Aleichem, this is Rabbi Kovacs, and Mishnah Yomi today continues in chapter 3 of Sanhedrin, Mishnayot Vav Zion. So far we've talked about what makes a witness qualified or disqualified. So now that we have qualified witnesses, what next? Ketzod Bodkin et Edim. So Mishnah 6, how do they check out and examine the witnesses? Hayu machnisin otan, they'd bring them into court, u'ma'aymin alehem, and put fear upon them. Now, the judges would literally scare them with the consequences of giving false testimony. In the Gemara, they bring that there were certain psukim the judges would use to show these witnesses that if you are lying or making up a story, there are serious consequences, not only spiritual consequences, but social consequences. No one will trust you anymore. Now, after they've scared the witnesses, motziin et kol ha'adam l'chutz, they bring everybody else outside, u'mishayrin et hagadol shebehen. So only the older of the two witnesses is left alone with the judges in the courtroom. Va'omrim lo, and the judges tell him, Amor, tell us now, heich ato yodea shezeh chayav lezeh. How do you know that Ruvain owes Shimon? Im amar, now if the witness says, Hu amar li? Yeah, he told me himself, Shani chayav lo, that I owe him some money, or Ish Ploni, another guy, Levi Amarli, told me, Shu chayav lo, that Reuven owes Shimon, lo amar klum. He did not say anything legally binding. This is not proof of the matter. It could be that someone's admitting they owe money. They're saying, yeah, we're in business together, we have investments, so I owe him, and and we're building a big business empire. Or it's hearsay, it's third-party testimony, it's indirect. These are not legally admissible. Ad sheyomar, unless the witness tells us, bifanenu, in front of us, meaning in front of two appointed witnesses, hodalo shu chayev lo 200 zuz. Reuven admitted to Shimon, yes, I owe you 200 zuz. Or it could be they were the witnesses to the transaction or the witnesses who signed on the deed. But it has to be the admission was made in front of two men who are serving as witnesses to this admission or this transaction. And after they've checked the first witness, machnisin et sheni, they would take out the first and bring in the second witness, bodkin oto, and similarly examine him. Now in the Gemara they talk about it's not just a bedika, it's a drisha v'chakira. So it's really digging into it and digging in not just to the contents of the testimony, what transaction took place, how much money, but also the circumstances. Where were you standing? What time of day was it? Who else was there? And part of the reason for that, the Gemara explains, is in case there's Eidim Zomamin who come along later and say to the first witnesses, you couldn't have seen that because you were in Las Vegas with us when you claimed that you saw this event or this admission. So back in our Mishnah, im nimtzu divreihem mechuvanim. If their words are in alignment, the witnesses agree, then nosim v'notnim badavar. The judges can take up the case and litigate. So now what happens when they vote? Shnayim omrim zakai. Two judges say he's innocent, he doesn't pay. Echad omer chayev. And one says he has to pay. Zakai, so he doesn't have to pay. Shnayim omrim chayev. Two say he must pay. Echad omer zakai. One says no. Chayev, so he has to pay. So far, so good, but what about this? Echad omer zakai, echad omer chayev, so it's 1v1. Va'afilu shnayim mizakin, or shnayim mechavin, or you have two judges say he doesn't pay, and the two other judges say he does pay, ve'echad omer, and that final judge says, Eini yodeya, I don't know, I can't render a verdict. Yosifu adayanim, you have to add judges to the court. And the Mishnah already hints us at this. What happened? You had three judges, and it was one says he pays, one says he doesn't pay, and one says I don't know. So now you've added two more judges. You have a total of 5. They vote again. You have 2 saying he pays, 2 saying he doesn't pay, and 1 more I don't know. You'd have to add 2 more to get 7 judges, and then redebate the case and vote again until you actually can have a majority decision. On to Mishnah 7. Gamru et davar. The judges have finished the case. Hayum machnisin otan. They would bring all the parties into the courtroom. Hagodol shebadayanim omer, and the eldest of the judges, the chief judge, says, Ish ploni ata zakai. He says, you are innocent, or Ish ploni ata chayev, or you have to pay. How do we know that when one of the judges goes out of court after the case is over, lo yomar, he's not allowed to say, Ani mizokei, I wanted to find you not liable. But what can I do? My friends on the court, the other judges, they all voted that you were guilty, that you have to pay. But what could I do? I tried to convince them, but the other judges outvoted me. So a judge cannot say this to the litigants after the fact. The deliberations are done in secret. No one's there except the judges. And now he's revealing this secret, to influence other parties outside after the case. Al Zay Ne'amar, the Pasuk talks about this in Vayikra chapter 19. Lo teilech rachil be'amecha. Do not be a gossip bearer amongst your people. The Omer, and also it says in Mishlei chapter 11, Holech Rachil Megale Sod. The one who's a Rachil, who's a gossiper, is one who reveals secrets. The court deliberations are done in secret, and this one judge is revealing the secret to curry favor with one of the litigants. This is inappropriate, and it's forbidden on a biblical level. Yishar kochachem tizku lemitzvot.